Welcome back, guys. Do you know what I hate more than Steam, more than Gordon Brown? Is the fact that when I'm trying to explain something that the first clip ends. Very, very annoying. So anyway, I can imagine you were slightly annoyed by that as well. So anyway, back to my explanation. So I attack the British guy in the flank. That forces him to reset his main line to attack me head on, which is good because I have a wood cover bonus and everything else. I've got my guards, I've got my cav, I've got everything going for me so far. So because he's having to turn so many units round to face me, his flank will now face Knight, who will in a few minutes come and attack his flank. Okay, now for some reason the British guy comes and tries to attack my Grenzers in melee. He should have realised that Grenzers are badass mofos, and really you should not be charging into them with anything apart from perhaps heavy cavalry, and that is no joke. Grenzers are tough in melee, especially even against line infantry. Unless your line infantry is at full strength and has not been shot, you might have a chance, but other than that, Grenzers will not rout in melee with anything apart from cav, or if they're very low down, if there's not many of them left, I should say. So he charges my Grenzers, so I pull back through my guards. His line then keeps coming. What word is that I just made up? And then he comes straight into my guards, who are even tougher than Grenzers, and start mincing up his line inf. Quite a waste of a line inf, but in a sort of weird way it's actually useful because it stops my guards from actually firing back at the Ferguson rifles. So you could argue the fact that it was a good move because now I can't fire back. Actually, unbeknown to me, I'd forgotten I'd done this. I sent my Hungarian Hussars round, who are now still trying to play let's see how far we can throw a British guy. And I charged them into the Ferguson rifles. So I did that actually. I did that by moving my guys through the woods so I couldn't see them. It's not me. I could see them obviously, but my enemies couldn't see them. And then got them round the back of the Prussian units and attacked the Fergusons. Unfortunately, most of them get killed when the Prussian sends his garde du corps in. Luckily for me, he charges his garde du corps through the Fergusons and kills a few of them. But he kills all my valiant hussars, bar those 6, who will come back for revenge later on. Remember them. Remember their faces. They will be back. Okay, now on the opposite side, Aleron and Side are ganging up on the Dutch guy. Standard over here, this is just going to be 2v1 envelopment tactics. The Dutch guy cannot hold the wood and has fallen back. Aleron will pursue. Okay, that's fairly standard over there, so we'll be going back and having a look later on. Okay, I've got my Grenzers in front over here, mincing through his lifeguards, who are, like I said in the previous clip, he lost all of his Jaegers, so he has no skirmisher support. So I can then focus all my Grenzers on his guards, and plus my guards behind, I got 2-to-1 fire superiority. He sends his general a bit too close for some reason, and my Grenzers are quite happy to say hello to him. The Grenzer way, which is to shoot a double-barreled musket in his face. That's what Grenzers have, if you didn't know. It was a double-barreled musket. There, he learnt something today. Okay, over on that flank, over there, his garde du corps, who have just come from killing all my hussars, bar the 6 that I said would be back, decide to be a bit cocky and chase after all my Grenzers. He does the right thing of charging my leftmost Grenzer unit, because I've already lost a guard unit, so I've only got 3 left, so there's not enough guards to support the amount of Grenzers I have. So he takes 1 out, but then he plays tag with my Grenzers, who are quite happy to run around with lots of cav chasing them. I then make him chase my Grenzers into my squares. That's basically, well, you can see, just went quickly back to see what Side and Aleron were doing. They're still blasting their way through the wood because the Dutchman has withdrawn his rifles but kept some of his Swiss behind. Okay, so after charging into my square, my Grenzers then set up round, and I get my guards out of square mode and start firing back into the rear of the garde du corps. Okay, so that wavers them, and then here come my badass hussars, who are ready for revenge. Even though these garde du corps are now routing after being shot at quite repeatedly by every one of my units, my hussars are out for blood, and as you can see, chop. Like some karate maniacs, they do one swipe of the sword, and not one of the garde du corps survive that assault. Revenge for their fallen brothers. Okay, now basically on the other side, Said has now taken the wood. He is steadily encircling the Dutch units that the Dutch player I should say, has sent to slow him down. Also, the Dutchman also sends his garde du corps into 2 squares, which gets them promptly killed. The Swiss with a wood bonus are bloody tough. Trust me, even if you get them encircled, they will hold out for ages because they got such a high morale. They reload so quickly, and they got a very high accuracy, making them the best line-up in the game. Nonetheless, Said knows what he's doing. Charges Bukele's regiment into him, into the front, and charges into the rear with his standard line-up. Okay, so back to my side. My Grenzers have pushed my army, I should say. It's not just Grenzers, it's guards and hussars as well. My army has pushed the British guy back up to the hill, which he's now going to get his wish of us attacking him on. We're going to attack him now because there's hardly any of his guys left. My Hungarian hussars are still badass mofos, and they're going back in to kill more British guys. In fact, the stats in the end for those 6 remaining hussars were 84 kills overall, which is a tremendously large amount for a cavalry unit. Okay, so I charged my 6. There's only 6 left by now. They waver temporarily because Knight starts shooting at them. Bad Knight. Do not shoot my own men. Knight does love shooting my own guys, but luckily for me, they get a temporary morale bonus because they cause 2 Ferguson units to rout. That's right, 6 hussars cause 2 Fergie units to rout. Very nice, I say. Okay, on the other side, a Leron and whoa, I would not want to be in that Dutch unit. I'd be crapping myself if I saw that amount of riflemen coming at me. But we're gonna have a firing squad. No. That would have been so cool to have seen all those guys firing at once, but now I'm not going to stay over there to wait for them to reload. Okay, now the British guy pinned into the wood. I send my Grenzers ahead to start blasting him out, and I get my guards behind just in case he does something silly and attacks them head on. He's only got 2 line left now after my 6 hussars have actually routed all of his Fergusons at once. Quite amazing, I thought. I'm surprised they're still alive, to be honest. I sent them off chasing routing units just so they could get more kills. Okay, we're going back to the other side, and the Dutchman has now, well, he's basically copped it now. The only guys who he's got left are his Swiss, who he's plonked into the wood to make a heroic Alamo-style last stand defence. So basically, it's just mopping up time now. But this whole vid was to show you how one mistake has costed my opponents the entire battle. Okay, I just send my guards in ahead of my Grenzers. My Grenzers I'm not firing anymore. Just sent my guards in to mop up all the remaining British troops, and I send my Grenzers into melee to just charge after the routing units. It's fun, really. And then this last bayonet charge signals the end of the whole battle. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, that shows how one mistake by my opponent's team has cost them the entire battle. A lot of the blame was poured onto him. I wouldn't say rightly so. Perhaps if they had backed him up, things would have been different. Nonetheless, we won, so whoop-de-doo.